Alrighty, mic test please, guys. How's the sound? How's your day? How was your evening? Good, good and good. Quick recap on yesterday's trade. It was a very slow start. There was a double bottom, showed a little bit of divergence. That divergence ended up playing out for a couple of hours from that signal there. It ended up rallying about 50 odd pips after it made its move to here. It then pulled back through the mid band, but it was a 618 retracement from here to here. It then closed above the mid band with a very strong bullish engulfing candle. We bought it there. Our T1, our first target, was here at 26.57. Hit T1, so it was plus 0.5 unit trade. It didn't make it to T2, which was up here at 26.77, but our stop automatically moves to break even. So when it sold off, the remainder of our position was taken out for no loss. A nice 0.5 unit trade, nothing too fancy, but just chipping away at it in this market, and there's nothing wrong with a trade like that. So if we look at our larger time frame charts on that euro, we can see the 4 hour has continued this retracement. It started from that rally on Friday. It's continued that retracement. To the monthly pivot, it's found support. Hasn't quite made it to the mid band. We don't know if it will or it won't. It's showing some signs of bullish, but we'll just have to wait and see. So there's no immediate danger on the 4 hour. If it's sold off, it's got a fair way to go to the mid band. It's about 40 odd pips. So nothing too worrying there. If we scale down to a 1 hour, it shows a different story, doesn't it? Last night when we bought it, we were somewhere here. We talked about this round number in the previous low, and that's exactly where it turned. You can see here it tested, and then there's a big rejection candle off the mid band, and the round number is where it sold off from. We were done by then. We'd made our money. So looking at today, is there anything we may need to look out for here? Looking at that 1 hour chart. Yeah, we're already at the outer band, so to buy this thing we need to be careful that we're at the outer band. We want to be careful buying into those outer bands. They're quite strong. For a sell, we can see on a 1 hour chart, it's actually setting up for a sell, isn't it? You've got bearish TMAC, you've got a nice retracement to the outer band, hardly pulled back at all on the TMAC here, and a big red or a sell signal here would be quite a nice signal on a 1 hour chart. We still need to be careful. We saw it yesterday in the Euro Yen, how nice it looked, but guess what? There was a nice looking signal on the Euro Yen. If you took that trade, you would have been stopped out. And it was a really nice signal, and that's just the time of year, and that's why we've opted not to. It's hard, it's really hard when you see a nice setup like that and you go, oh yeah, we should take this. But, you know, you just got to be very cautious and just pick the eyes out of it. So we've got to be mindful of trading long, don't we? We're not to say that we can't, we just have to remember that anything beyond this point starts to get stretched. And what signals is stochastic giving us? Overboard, isn't it? It's giving us an overbought signal plus there, so it's telling you so far there's a fair chance that this rubber band is probably stretched enough and it needs to come back. We won't know until it happens basically, but what we can do is be careful and look for signals on our 5 minute. Just let me see something here. Okay, there's the daily pivot. Not sure why that wasn't set up before. So it's hit the daily pivot, hit the outer band. It's already rejected once off that daily pivot. It's now broken through and printed a higher high. So let's just have a squeeze. Now let's go down to 5 minutes and see what it's got to say. Well, there you go. There's the first test of the daily pivot. And now it's made a higher high. So if we put a horizontal on the top of these real bodies and create a bit of a cluster or a bit of a confluence here, a bit of a zone, will it come up and retest that to trade long? Or is this going to be higher high, give some divergence, and roll over short? I don't know. Let's go back to that 1 hour. When you get movement like this, there's probably a good chance of a cluster forming. Sneaky divergence, so there's your 38. $618.